Hello friends, it's me again. It's time for yet another video of whatever the fuck it is I'm doing with my life. Let's read this. This is from our friend Destroya. This one's called So Others May Live, Am I Doing the Right Thing? It's a pretty weighted question, but alright. After years of depression, I felt my life finally start to move, but everything changed when the Backstreet Boys attacked. Yeah, we can't say certain words. I think we can now, but I'm trying not to. With this stay-at-home order, and my dad being an essential worker, no one was around to watch my sister. She's 7. I stopped everything in my plans to move forward in career and stayed at home with her until everything blew over. Now, the first stay-at-home order was only for 2 weeks, and then it became 4, and before we knew it, it was 2 months, and now 6. Before I go any further, both my sister and my father have health problems, sister having asthma, dad having high blood pressure, and really bad knees. I stay at home with my sister every day so that my sister doesn't get it, or my dad doesn't get it either. I stay at home and play games most of the day. Honestly, I don't know how neckbeards and incels do this. Eventually it gets really boring and tedious. I cook and clean and sacrifice my life so, others may live. I buy stuff to keep me occupied, Legos, Gundam figures, Warhammer, so on. Toxic legbeard friend returned, but she quickly found a new boyfriend. Just something worth noting, since I don't really have a lot of friends. Now the million-dollar question, am I doing the right thing, or am I just a loser? Thank you all for your time. Hopefully I'll get to read your responses before I slowly descend into madness, since my social skills and people skills are now non-existent. I was awkward before, and imagine now. Are you doing the right thing? Yes. Absolutely 100% yes. This is no joke. I haven't really talked about this much because, we're not supposed to talk about certain things on the YouTubes. But this is a super, super serious situation. Everything that I have read about how this particular tour is communicated is not good. It is very communicable. It is very dangerous to certain people. So, I'm going to go ahead and say some things here that, some of them personal, some of them scientific, and I may not be the most accurate source ever, but I'm going to do my best. Being careful and being protected with what you're doing is absolutely important. Spending time and staying home to take care of your sister is also an incredibly noble and wonderful thing to do. Family is really important, especially if they're family that you actually care about. And for those of you who are feeling the same kind of isolation and don't have anyone to talk to or anything like that, not to just, throw this out there, but I do have a Discord community. We are welcoming so many people. Feel free to come in and talk. It's okay. We don't have a problem with new people joining. It's totally fine. So, the other part of this is how this thing kind of spreads. It's incredibly communicable, like I said that before. It's really easy to transfer, so being very careful when you go out, masking up, wearing the right things, and being aware of your surroundings is super important. I, for example, am on a different kind of page with a lot of this. A lot of people are trying to prevent themselves from catching it. I am almost positive, because there's no way to be 100% positive without having, full testing done, that back in February, I had a mild form of it. I remember I slept for like 3 days. I felt awful for the longest time afterwards. And in videos and in live streams a while back, you can still hear me coughing. I mean, I still cough from time to time, but that's heartburn. But not like this. This was a cough that I just could not get rid of. And everything that I've read, that points to the same symptoms. Now, granted, I didn't have it very bad. I didn't have to go to a hospital or anything like that, thankfully. But that also means that I have the potential for being a carrier. Which is why every time I go somewhere, I always mask up and wear gloves, because it's not to prevent me from getting it. There's back and forth stuff about whether or not you can catch it again. I don't know if you can. They say that there's ways your antibodies can kind of protect. I don't really know. I'm not an expert. But on the off chance that I can actually be a communicator, that's kind of the reason why I wear all the stuff. I think of it like that. I think of it as I do have the potential to make other people sick. So I try to stay as far away from public places as possible. If I have to go somewhere, I'm fully decked out. You know, I have the gear and everything is, you know, set up the way it's supposed to. Because I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want people to catch it from me. So, being safe in this situation, you know, doing what you have to distance, and sometimes it's hard. I mean, it's a little different for me because this kind of is not just, you know, my own form of social interaction, making stuff and talking to you guys. It's also my job. I kind of do this and, you know, dad thing or whatever. So I'm in a weird position where that does work out. But I realize that for a lot of people, that's not the case. And I know that this is really difficult. It's weird because it's asking us to do the kind of thing that we, as humans, did not evolve to do. We're incredibly social creatures. Our need to be social is shockingly high. I'm really antisocial, and I don't like going places around a bunch of people that I don't know. Going to the store makes me really nervous, even before all this. But I still feel the need to be incredibly social. And I still feel the need to talk to people, which is really obvious given how many, you know, fucking goofy videos I've made. So even the most antisocial and the most isolated people sometimes feel the need to talk. The internet is kind of a wonderful tool for that. It is pretty fucking great that we invented that before we, you know, got this. Imagine what this would have been like during the 80s, you know, where the internet's like 300 people and everybody else is just stuck at home doing nothing. Insanity would have kind of overtaken a lot of things, I think. But in this whole thing, we've kind of discovered a lot of things. We've discovered that there are a lot of people who don't take this stuff seriously, and that's really stupid. You totally should. This is kind of important, so yeah, do that. Because again, going back to my position to kind of use it as an example, it's not always about you. It's not always about yourself, you know? It wouldn't be about me. If for some reason they come out tomorrow and say that, you know, oh, if you've had it once, you can't have it again. I don't know how true that is. In fact, I don't think it's true, but I'm just speculating. But even if they said that, they also would say something like, you know, but if you've had it, you also have a chance to spread it. One more reason for me to fucking mask up, man. Because it's not about me. You know? I may be safe or whatever, but there are a bunch of people who aren't. And, yeah, kind of want to not hurt those people. I mean, I'm not the most perfect person on the planet, but I don't want to hurt random strangers indiscriminately. That would be kind of fucked up. So, I think that you are doing the right thing. I know it's hard. It feels like it's not the right thing. Believe me, sometimes you have to kind of make yourself do things in order to put yourself in the proper headspace. To give another example, I have a lot of trouble taking time off. A lot of people in my life, and even on the Discord server, have noticed this. Sango has to constantly remind me that I need to make time off for myself, because otherwise I'll work myself until I go fucking crazy. And I have a few times in the past. And it's because, you know, I love what I do, but at the same time, it can be... I make myself way too stressed about it. I feel like there's a specific deadline I have to meet, but that specific deadline isn't, you know, fully realistic. And I kind of have to take moments to build time off for myself, because that's one thing. You kind of have to do that in this business, but you have to really think of it in a different way. Technically, if we're, you know, using this whole thing as an example and being very technical, I am doing what I am supposed to, quote-unquote, do. I am working, and therefore that is what you're supposed to do. However, working at the rate that I would without anybody intervening to be like, okay, you need to stop, would probably kill me, because I just get way too fucking into it. And I get to the point where I'll start to dislike what I do, and then I won't do it, and I don't want that to happen. So I kind of have to put myself in a position where it's like, okay, you've done more than enough. You need to not do this for a few days. And we're in a position right now when it comes to this whole thing about we don't really know how to process having this much time not working. Because we've been brought up being told that you have to. And now we're suddenly being told the opposite. Because being around other people would make this worse. So it's an incredibly confusing, incredibly kind of unstable point. But I assure you, social distancing, wearing the masks, and staying as far away from people as you can is absolutely the right thing to do. And helping out your dad and sister in this case is also absolutely the right thing to do. I 100% support you, and I think you're doing fantastic. Also, building Gundam models. Hey, I feel that. That's my thing, too. I haven't done it in a little bit. I should do that. I need to get paints. I have these wonderful kits that were sent to me, but I just haven't had the time to order any paints. But, with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope this helped you guys kind of feel better, too. I kind of like doing these little question and answer things. Maybe I should start an advice show. Moonhorse's terrible advice. I don't know, you guys think about it. You tell me what you think. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. I love you all, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is. And remember, stay safe, guys. Seriously, I don't want anybody out there getting hurt. I care about you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!